And that's the problem. You never do.
You can't be sleeping with people who are convalescing. I guess maybe that happened. I don't know. It's scandalous though. Hello everyone, I am James. Welcome to my channel, Jamie Wren Reacts. We are back with Downton Abbey Season 2, Episode 3. There is so much going on, especially with all of the budding relationships. Let's just get right into it. If you are here with me, you like this video, if you like this content, thank you so much for your support. Please give me a like or subscribe, it would really help me out. Or you can go watch the full-length reaction on my Patreon in the description. And without further ado, let's get into it. Still loving the music in this beginning intro.
Should we give them some more space between the beds?
Well, we could give them a bit
much. Where are we to sit? We can screen off the small library. Is that all?
How kind. Why will we only have officers? Surely all wounded men need to convalesce.
Will that be achieved by mixing ranks and putting everyone on edge?
Convalescence home is coming along.
I'm searching for Lady Mary Carson. Will you tell her I'm in the library?
Don't loiter, Edith. There's plenty to be done.
Of course, but I'm not quite sure what
Sybil.
Edith.
I'd like to thank you all for your work this morning.
It's just strange to see the rooms converted into dormitory.
It was wrong for our life to chug along as if the war were only happening to other people.
Are we all working for Mrs. Crawley now?
We are not.
I'm sure the chain of command will be sorted out soon.
Lavinia Swire knows Richard Carlyle, so what? Aunt Rosamond said herself she didn't know what to make of it.
Well, I'm going up to London to stay with Rosamond for a day or two. I think we'll have Lavinia for tea.
William says he's got time off between the end of his training and going overseas. He's going on first, but he wants to come here for his last night.
I'd be glad to wish him well on his way.
Everyone's having a difficult time adjusting to this, especially the staff even.
Why do you think he's coming here?
To see us all and say goodbye. What's wrong with that?
I suppose it's something more. Suppose he's got plans.
He's got plans with you, Daisy. Oh my goodness. Is she seeing things?
Cousin Isabel thinks it'll be her. All I know is that she'll drive us mad before the end.
I'm going up to change. I just want to finish this.
This is tough for all of them.
Night shift, I'll walk down after dinner.
Sybil is so different. I mean, she was always forward thinking, but a changed person.
It's just you seem to have such a purpose there. It suited you.
It did suit me. I enjoyed it.
Not just because of the purpose.
You have a talent that none of the rest of us have. Just find out what it is and use it.
The truth is, my lady, Mrs. Crawley has forgotten this is your house. And we need a friend in charge of the day-to-day management. Because if Mrs. Crawley gets one of her toadies in to run things, she'll have her nose in every pie before you can say Jack Robinson.
But who?
What about Thomas, my lady? He's hospital trained, and he's always had a soft spot for Downton.
Thomas.
He's a corporal, with real battle experience as a medic.
Could Dr. Clarkson spare him?
I suppose he'll have to spare somebody.
Oh my gosh, Thomas is back. Oh my, he's gonna be running alongside Mr. Carson and oh my gosh.
No, never mind.
Wow, look at that curling iron.
It was this afternoon in the village. I thought I saw Mr. Bates.
Bates? Isn't he in London? I'll telephone Sir Richard and ask him to look into it.
But what would he know?
He works in newspapers. A world of spies, tip-offs, and private investigators. I promise you, he can find out whatever he likes.
Newspaper men were just a shady reputation back then, huh? Yeah, I mean, they were, but I didn't know how prevalent that was.
Because he is, or was, a friend of my father's and of my uncle, Jonathan Swire.
Was.
But I'm afraid they've fallen out. Oh.
I'm not going to fight.
You'll have to.
I will not. I'm going to be a conscientious objector.
They'll put you in prison.
I'd rather prison than the Dardanelles.
Wow.
I'll go to the medical. I'll report for duty. Then when on parade, I'll march out front and I'll shout it loud and clear.
But you'll have a record for the rest of your life.
At least I'll have a life.
Branson is a pacifist, right, I think? Or, I'm not really sure. Oh, Lang. He's suffering, man. He has like PTSD major, like big time.
What's the matter, Mr. Lang? Tell me, I won't bite.
I sometimes feel I'm the only one who knows what's going on over there. Ironing clothes and cleaning boots and choosing what's for dinner, while over the channel, men are killed and maimed, blown to pieces. Have you any idea how scared they are?
Yeah, her nephew.
My sister's boy. He was shot for cowardice, but I knew him, and he'd never have done such a thing if he hadn't have been half out of his mind with fear.
Don't blame him. It was him, but it could have been me.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been any of us.
Mrs. Patmore and Lang are having a connection. That's good. Someone to talk to.
Telling Mr. Carson what to do.
Why? What's in it for you?
All right, it's to stop Mrs. Crawley bossing her ladyship about. She behaves as if she owns the place.
You've changed your tune. You've also got her ladyship wrapped round your little finger.
Maybe that's my business, but I'll not hurt her. And I'll not let anyone else hurt her neither.
Yeah, but you hurt her in the worst way.
So will you come if I can fix it?
Why not?
Oh, God. Thomas is back.
And where are we supposed to eat?
You can share the dining room with those officers.
No.
We all have to make sacrifices.
No.
Lady Grantham asked that the house management might be put into the hands of Corporal Barrow.
Thomas, in charge of Downton.
That's what I thought at first, but he isn't a footman now, he's a soldier.
The men won't accept the authority of a corporal.
I've thought of that, and he's prepared to have him raised to the rank of acting sergeant.
But can you spare him?
We can.
Oh my God, what a mess.
I do assure you, Corporal Barrow is very efficient.
I say good. If someone's to manage things, let it be our creature.
Why? Are you planning to divide his loyalties?
I wouldn't say I was planning it.
Thomas, as the manager of Downton.
He won't be a manager in that sense.
I cannot have him working here because he is a thief.
Is it honourable in us to hold Thomas's sins against him when he has been wounded in the service of the king?
And who is to be in charge over Thomas? Shall we just make it up as we go along?
Unless you've got a better idea.
Come on, Carson, you have to have a better idea.
Mr. Branson's been telling us the news from Russia.
Lenin denounces the bourgeoisie along with the Tsar. He wants a people's revolution. That's what I'm waiting for.
And what's happened to the Tsar?
Imprisoned in the Alexander Palace with all his family.
Oh, what a dreadful thing.
They won't hurt them. Why would they?
Oh, no.
You don't know that. Nobody knows who'll get killed when these things start. Look at her nephew. Shot for cowardice. Who'd have guessed that when he was saying hello to the neighbours? Or kissing his mother goodnight?
Oh, Lang. Lang, why did you say that?
I'm sorry. I never thought.
You should think, Mr. Lang, you're not the only member of the walking wounded in this house.
Okay, who's this at the front door? Please let it be Mr. Bates. Oh, Thomas.
I'm the manager here now, Mr. Carson. Or had you forgotten? And it's Sergeant Barrow now.
Acting sergeant, I believe.
Oh, God. Yeah, all of your fine things and places to rest and relax are being changed. But it's for the good of these fighting men and their healing. So now this music is very like sad and ominous. Here they come.
As you can, gentlemen. This way, please, gentlemen.
Yes.
Wow, what a change. Lang is shaking. Look at him, man. He's having an episode.
He's handsome.
Handsome and off limits.
It would be nice to have the house full of men.
Full of officers. Officers aren't men, not where we're concerned.
Oh, speak for yourself.
There's Matthew.
Matthew! What in the world are you doing here?
You go. We'll talk later. I hadn't cast you as Florence Nightingale.
How are you? I know I mustn't ask you what you're doing.
You can ask what I'm doing in Downton.
Can we see something of you?
I think my general ought to come here. It's exactly the sort of thing people like to read about. Dear mother, she does love a bit of authority. I suppose she's driving Cousin Cora mad.
And out. You can get dressed.
Shall I report for duty in Richmond?
You'll be told what to do.
And Carson, I'm relying on you to make sure that that is so.
What's going on? Shall we continue this upstairs?
Well, I've made some charts and... Of course.
Did you say you were the manager or the referee?
You see what we're up against.
Don't worry, we'll find a solution.
You take over every room in the house, you bark at me like a sergeant major, and you give orders to my servants.
Cora, I'm sure Cousin...
I'm sorry, are you in the middle of something?
We're discussing the arrangements.
Oh, good. Because we've had a letter from Evelyn Napier.
Well, now, just a minute.
There's no question of him coming here.
What?
Downton must function as part of the official system, or it cannot function at all.
Downton is our house and our home, and we will welcome in it any friends or relations we choose. And if you do not care to accept that condition, then I suggest you give orders for the nurses and the patients and the beds and the rest of it to be packed up and shipped out at once.
Thank you, Lord Grantham, for making your position so clear.
Oh, just one more thing. The dog. What should we do to stop ISIS getting into the patients' rooms?
I can answer that. Absolutely nothing.
The dog would be good for the patients.
That was Sir Richard on the telephone. It might have been Bates you saw in the village.
Mr. Bates in a pub?
The question's, what'll you do with the information now you've got it?
You're gonna go see him. Bates should come back and be in charge of Thomas. Now that would be great. Everyone would love that except for Thomas and O'Brien.
It turned me down. The army.
They did?
Apparently, I have a heart murmur. A mitral valve prolapse is causing a pansystolic murmur.
I don't know what to say. Is it dangerous?
Only if you're planning to humiliate the British Army.
You were so confident about getting in and being a conscientious objector.
If I don't get them one way, I'll get them another.
Why do you have to be so angry all the time?
Yeah.
I lost a cousin in the Easter Rising last year.
You never said.
Well, I'm saying it now. He was walking down North King Street one day and an English soldier saw him and shot him dead. When they asked why he was killed, the officer said, because he was probably a rebel.
You can't blame him for being so passionate, given the history between Ireland and England and... Uh-oh, look at Ethel flirting with the soldiers, the officer.
But I may need some more tucking very soon.
Well, no one tucks better than I do.
Go back inside, please. There are still more bedrooms to be done.
Ethel's a troublemaker. He likes her, though. This guy is going to be a major character, or at least... I don't know for how long, but...
Any plans for your afternoon off?
Go see Mr. Bates.
Wants me to go to the pictures in York with him when he's allowed out.
Major Bright.
Stupid. Insane.
Oh, he really likes me, though. He says he wants to get to know me better.
That's what they all say.
Just practising with these for Lady Mary. Promised her I would.
Practicing, huh? Looks good. Look good. Is this the pub? She's going to see him. Yeah. Is this a Red Lion? I saw that on the outside sign. That's gotta be him. That's him. That's clearly him.
Might I have a glass of cider?
What are you doing here, Mr. Bates? The heck? How long has it been?
I don't know if I've dreaded this moment or longed for it.
What's going on?
I gather Lavinia will be there. We must seize the opportunity to challenge her. She stole secrets from her uncle, Jonathan Swire, and gave them to Carlisle to publish, Swire told me.
The politicians broke the law. Lavinia did nothing wrong.
But why did she betray her uncle to Sir Richard in the first place?
Because they were lovers. And now it's down to you to save Matthew from the clutches of a scheming harlot.
Really, Rosamond, there's no need to be so gleeful.
Rosamond is horrible. I don't like Rosamond at all. Ugh.
I so long for a glimpse of you.
But why are you up here at all?
Yeah, why are you here?
You see, I've discovered that Vera has been unfaithful to me. I've got proof.
Shocking.
It means I can divorce her. I've had to leave the house to prove that it has broken the marriage.
But what if she fights it?
She can't. For her to divorce me, she needs something beyond adultery. Cruelty or such like. For a husband, adultery is enough.
It's not very fair to women.
I don't care about fairness, I care about you. If she goes quietly, I will give her money and plenty of it. If not, she leaves empty-handed.
And when will this be?
I need to get her to accept it first. She's made threats about selling stuff to the papers.
What stuff?
Bates, you need to finish your divorce.
We don't have to wait, you know. If you want me to throw up everything and come with you, I will. Gladly.
I can't marry you yet, not legally. And I won't break the law.
It's not against the law to take a mistress, Mr. Bates.
She just wants to be with you. But Bates, I love you, man, but you need to finish your divorce. Vera won't let it happen like that. I just feel it.
And I love you, and that is not the right path for you.
He doesn't want to dishonor her. No, you need to finish your divorce. Too many men say, oh yeah, I'm gonna get divorced, and it doesn't happen. I love Bates, but come on, man.
Is it true about Mr. Crawley bringing a famous general here?
Captain Crawley. But yes, why?
No reason.
Uh-oh, what are you scheming, Branson?
And after that, a fairly grand dinner. I'll tell them to bring mess kit.
Matthew writes Miss Swire is coming down from London for it.
Really? He never said so to me.
Does he need your permission?
Ooh, there's a lot of friction.
You and Lady Grantham will both come with us.
But won't he want to talk about treatments?
The treatments and the house.
Yes. Carson's look. A psalm. That's where Matthew was in episode 1.
It's Captain Smiley, isn't it? We haven't met yet, but I'm Edith Crawley.
It's just that I'd like to write a letter to my parents. I've not written before because I didn't want to worry my mother with the different handwriting.
His hand's messed up? He needs help.
I'm left-handed. How's that for luck? I've asked the others and they say you're the one to help me.
Of course I will. I'd be happy to.
That's what they said.
Edith, are you gonna do something good, like truly good this time?
Mr. Carson, might I have a word? I don't expect you'll be using Mr. Lang, not after last time. I've waited at table before.
Do you mean it?
We have to keep up the honour of Downton, don't we?
I'm very grateful, Mr. Branson. I'll not hide it. Very grateful indeed.
All right. What's your plan, Branson?
Who knows what the future will bring?
Something under your sleeve, Branson. I mean, he looked like he was planning something. Uh-oh. This has got to be like PTSD.
What in heaven's name's happening?
No! No, I can't do it!
Mr. Lang?
Mr.
Lang, wake up! You're having a bad dream, Mr. Lang!
I can't go back, no matter what.
No one's asking you to go back, Mr. Lang.
Don't worry, Mr. Lang, you've had a bad dream, that's all.
Is it a dream?
Lang is suffering. He is suffering.
You're all right. Let's get you back into bed.
I'm sorry.
It's all right, Mr. Lang.
I'm sorry.
You're all right. Is it any wonder when he's been to hell and back?
O'Brien has sympathy for him. I mean, I really hated I still hate O'Brien, but she at least has sympathy for somebody. Sympathy and compassion. Thomas is very smug. Carson is hating this. Okay.
Lady Grantham and Mrs. Crawley will both accompany us as we go around, sir.
Makes a nice change from the craggy-faced warriors I'm usually surrounded by.
Poor mother. She longs to hold all the reins. I should go, if only to keep our respected mothers apart.
I'm afraid Mrs. Crawley's none too pleased to play second fiddle, sir.
Well, I hope she doesn't spoil things.
Well, that's just what I've been meaning to talk to you about, sir.
Poor Lavinia.
Tell me what it is, please. All right.
Is she naive or is she just ignorant of everything that's going on.
Did you get that picture taken?
I did, yeah.
Fetch it, because if you think I'm going to stand by and watch that boy's dream stamped in the dust, you've got another thing coming. You can take back your promise when the war's over and not before.
But it's a lie.
Don't make him give up when he's off to face the guns. You'd never forgive yourself if that happened.
Rosamond found you and Richard Carlyle together in the garden. She thought he was threatening you, and now she's decided that you were behind the Marconi share scandal in 1912. No, let's forget it. It's absurd.
But Lady Rosamond is right. I did steal the evidence for Sir Richard to print. I did start the scandal.
Aunt Rosamond can't understand why you would do such a thing unless you and Sir Richard were
lovers.
Were you lovers? I don't think so. Something else. Can't be that obvious.
Tell me about this, officer.
Who is that man? I hope he's not complaining.
Oh, no. That's Captain Smiley. He hasn't an unkind bone in his body.
How do you know so much about a pack of strangers?
They're not strangers to me.
This is all very impressive, Lady Grantham. The nurses and your own staff are to be congratulated.
I'm nervous. Of course I am. But not scared. I think I'm ready.
Only I'm thinking of what your dear mother would say. Oh, she'd be so proud.
She would be.
What is it?
I just want a word with Daisy.
I'm needed in the kitchen.
There's plenty of time later on.
Okay, what are you gonna do? Does he know that, General?
Actually, I'm struggling a bit. I've just lost my soldier servant and I haven't managed to replace him yet.
So when will you tell Matthew? Don't waste the opportunity.
Oh, Rosamond is my new favorite disliked person.
Classic Rosamond. She's never more righteous than when she's in the wrong.
She's never more righteous than when she's in the wrong. Oh, God. Branson, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna poison him or something? Or embarrass him? What's that? Lady Sybil. Forgive me. That's from Branson. Uh-oh. Run, run, run. Run, Anna, run! Is he gonna... He's trying to embarrass the general or something, right? Or he did something to the soup.
Why? Read that. They'll have arrested me by now. The bastard had it coming to him. Oh!
What in God's name?
Read this.
Go get the soup! Go get it! What are you doing?
My God.
Oh, he must have been the guy that shot his friend or been related to it. Oh my God, no.
Not a bullet.
No. Yes.
Oh, he saw that. Or she saw that, sorry.
All right, there's no need to be so rough.
There's every need.
You were going to assassinate the general.
Kill the general? I wasn't not. I was going to throw that lot all over him.
What is it?
Oil and ink and a bit of a cow pack, all mixed with sour milk.
Ew.
And we'll decide what happens to you later.
Never mind later. What about now? How do we keep this dinner going?
I'll serve, Mr. Carson, I don't mind. Who knows when I'll have the chance again?
Our footman, William, is leaving us tomorrow to join his regiment. That's why he's not in livery.
You're a credit to this house and this country, young man. There is no livery so becoming as a uniform.
Sir.
Yes. Nothing wrong with wearing the uniform.
You've been so kind to Lavinia. Hear me, I hope you haven't unearthed anything too fearful.
You must ask Mary.
Thing I'm still not quite clear about. Who precisely is in charge of Downton when you're not here?
And it seems to be only fair that Mrs. Crawley and Lady Grantham should share that responsibility.
The fact is, I have been more than gratified by my visit here today. There is one among you whose generosity is in danger of going unremarked. It seems the daily cares and needs of the patients are being dealt with quietly.
Edith?
By Lady Edith.
I knew it.
That's what the officers tell me. So let us raise our glasses and drink her health. Edith.
Darling.
Lady
Edith. Are you redeeming yourself? Finally doing something good?
You don't have to explain anything. Not to me. But I want to.
You need to explain. For me.
My father owed Sir Richard Carlyle a lot of money.
And Sir Richard offered to waive the debt if you gave him the evidence of the minister's guilt.
And I knew I could get into my uncle's office and find the proof. My uncle was guilty. They all were. Sir Richard didn't make it up.
I believe you.
But that's not why I did it. It was entirely to save Papa from ruin.
A smaller ruin to avoid a bigger ruin.
Picture for me.
I might have.
Ah, poor William. Oh, that's a nice picture.
You know what I'm going to ask you, so will you?
You can't be sure.
I am sure.
So is she. And it's just what you told me you hoped would happen.
Miss Patmore. Don't put words in her mouth.
You're right. Daisy, are we engaged? Because if we are, I know I can tackle whatever may come.
Oh no. This is too much to put on her.
Go on then.
William?
You went from one manipulator to another, even though she's not as bad as O'Brien and Thomas.
The war has not changed everything.
It has changed everything.
Cousin Violet said you had something to say to me about Lavinia. What is it?
I haven't the slightest idea.
What a relief. She was hinting you'd uncovered some horrid stain.
The truth is, we're very much alike, so naturally I think she's perfect. We all do. Don't we, Aunt Rosamond?
Quite perfect.
Oh, Rosamond is not happy. You can't trust what comes out of people's mouths in this show. You gotta look at their face and what they do.
I can pull some strings, get him transferred to your lot.
I can't promise to keep him safe.
I know, but he'd have someone looking out for him. Oh my God. Lang, are you all right?
Lang is suffering.
I do have to go back with them, do I? Because I can't.
No.
If I don't see you again before I have to go back, be safe. You too.
Some major PTSD. Lavinia seems like a really sweet girl. I don't know. Maybe she isn't, but she seems like it so far.
Yeah. We've earned it.
Ah. So what will you do with him?
Branson or Lang?
He isn't well, but he's not a bad man.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
But he doesn't belong at Downton.
Branson.
It's a delicate business, Mrs. Hughes. Would it help, Mrs. Hughes? That's all I'm asking. Would it help?
Where's Mr. Branson?
Mr. Carson sent him back to his cottage to stew in his own juice.
But I've got something I'd like to say now. If you don't mind, Daisy and I are going to be married.
What the heck?
After the war?
I'm not sure I can wait that long.
Oh, this is not right. This is not right. Daisy deserves to make her own choice and not be lying to everyone. And
What I planned to say is already superfluous, Mr. Lang. You got there before me.
I've let you down, Mr. Carson. For that, I'm sorry.
We let you.
Don't be sorry.
Please tell us how you get on. And when you're ready for work again, you may rely on a good report from me.
That's kind.
That is kind, really kind. Lang needs help. He doesn't need judgment or ridicule. I feel bad for him.
It's nice of William to serve tonight. He didn't have to.
I'm going to arrange for him to be Matthew's servant. With any luck, it'll keep him out of trouble.
Matthew and Mary look so natural together. Did you notice? But I suppose Lavinia's a nice girl.
Lavinia is a nice girl.
It was in a dream before the war, but now it's woken up and said goodbye to it. And so must we.
Yes. I love how he's making William Matthew's servant. I love how they're all connected, even in the war. On the front lines and everything. Oh my gosh. I don't know where that episode was going, but wow, it ended with some drama. Wow. Okay, what an episode. Okay, I've just finished watching episode 3 of season 2 of Downton Abbey. That episode started a little bit slow, but it ended with some drama. I did not know where it was headed, but with Branson, I didn't think he was gonna murder the guy or anything. Maybe poison. I guess that is murder. I didn't think he had a gun or some kind of weapon in there. I did think maybe he was gonna make them sick, try to embarrass the general or something like that. Either way, it was the wrong thing to do. I am not happy about Thomas being back in the house and being in charge. What's worse is because he's back with O'Brien and they're gonna be scheming as usual and just causing trouble for everyone else. The thing that really bothered me the most was Miss Patmore forcing Daisy to go along with this thing with William. William's a nice guy, but she doesn't really love him and doesn't want to like marry him. It's kind of too bad because she seemed like she was warming up to him. I don't think it was good that she led him on, I think, when she kissed him and everything. Maybe she was just trying to make him feel better. Either way, it's not right. It's not the right thing to do. She doesn't really feel that in her heart and she's lying. William is a grown man and he can handle it. And it's better for him to know the truth, I think. Of course, I can't speak on that. I've never been to war. I don't know how he's truly feeling, but it doesn't seem right. So, what an episode. It looks like there's a lot of conflict coming. Mrs. Crawley, she used to have a lot of conflict with the Dowager Countess. Now she's having a lot of conflict with Cora. We'll see how that all shakes out. Mr. Bates, he needs to get a divorce. He can't just keep saying, oh, I think I could get a divorce and keep talking about it. That's like the oldest line in the book. I love you, Mr. Bates, but you need to get your divorce finalized. Then you can go and move on with Anna. Poor Anna. Her heart is still broken and in pieces. It's not right. I hope they resolve that soon. We'll see what happens in the next episode. If you like this content, if you like this video, please give me a like or subscribe. It really helped me out. Or you can go watch the full-length episode on my Patreon. The link is in the description. And with that, I'll leave you. See you next time. Bye now. Hello everyone, I am James. Welcome to my channel, Jimmy Wren Reacts. We are continuing on with Downton Abbey. We're on season 2, episode 4. There is still a lot of turmoil going on in the house between Mr. Carson and Thomas, the running of the convalescence between Cora and Mrs. Crawley, with all of the relationships that are happening or not happening, depending on the way you look at it. But let's get right into it. If you like this content, if you like this video, please give me a like or subscribe. It would really help me out. Or you can watch the full reaction on my Patreon, which is in the description. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Season 4 is shaping up to be really action-packed. There's so much going on.
The men are arranging the concert now, and they're so anxious for us both to be in it, although there'll be no girls at all. Please say you will. Do I have to?
Yes, you do. Keeping their spirits up is an important part of the cure, and it's so very little to ask.
What time is Dr. Clarkson's round?
It's already happened.
Without me? Why? I'm not very late.
We didn't see the need to wait. Mrs. Hughes, I need to steal you for a minute. I have to check the linen books.
But I went over them last week.
Very good, milady. I'll get started.
Uh-oh, the conflict is...
Can it wait? I have a mountain to get through.
I love Mrs. Crawley, but she seems to have conflicts with everyone. Well, not everyone, but she seems to have conflicts, like big ones. Uh-oh. Still flirting.
Have you nothing to do?
I was keeping her talking. You mustn't blame her.
I don't.
Uh-huh. He doesn't. He blames him.
Are you quite sure about Lavinia?
She wasn't Sir Richard's mistress. She gave him the evidence to settle a debt of someone she loved.
A man who lends money then uses it to blackmail the recipient?
He lives in a tough world.
And will you be joining him there?
He's rich and getting richer.
What about Sybil? Does she have anyone in her sights?
Not that I know of.
Are you sure she has no chap in mind? I had an endless series of crushes at her age.
Granny, I'm sure you did.
Really, Granny? How can you say that I'm too worldly, but Sybil's not worldly enough? You cannot be so contrary.
I'm a woman, Mary. I can be as contrary as I choose.
Granny knows herself. I love her.
Is this something I can help with?
Mrs. Patmore seems to be disobeying my instructions, and I can't get to the reason why.
Her ladyship felt that it made the staff luncheon unreasonably early. She moved it so that they could eat at noon.
But that will interfere with the nurses' shifts.
Oh no, she's altered those too.
Has she indeed?
It's a power struggle.
May I have a word?
Can it wait?
No, it cannot wait. I learned that my timetable has been wantonly disregarded. I've also discovered that you've torn up the nurses' timetable.
I haven't told in this house. Yes, I do have the right. Given me by Dr. Clarkson and by the law of the land. This is my house. And I am in charge right alongside you. And if you would stop your bullying...
That's enough. I will not listen to this. If I am not appreciated here, I will seek some other place where I will make a difference.
Good.
I cannot operate where I am not valued. You must see that.
Certainly.
She's telling her to go.
I shall go. I will.
Perhaps it would be best.
I mean it.
I'm sure you do. And so do I.
Oh, wow. She's calling her bluff.
You won't be content to stay at Downton forever, will you? And tinkering away at an engine instead of fighting for freedom.
Don't fret. The real fight for Ireland will come after the war, and I'll be ready for it.
Oh, that's her interest. You've been spotted.
I'll stay in Downton until you want to run away with me.
Aha.
You're too scared to admit it. But you're in love with me.
Branson, could you take me into Ripon at 3?
Yeah, she sees it very clearly. They're not just having a conversation. That's a lover's quarrel.
Mrs. Crawley, convalescent homes are not about medical training. They're far more to do with good food, fresh air, and clean sheets.
I've had a letter from a cousin in Paris who is working for the Wounded and Missing Inquiry Department. They've opened a branch in northern France under the aegis of the Red Cross. I shall offer them my services.
That's very drastic.
I have to go where I am useful.
You'll be missed.
By you, possibly.
That is drastic.
If you were the only boy.
Not a bad singing voice.
I wish we had a...
Wow, what a duo.
How's it going?
All right, I suppose. If you don't mind singers who can't sing and actors who can't act.
It helps to keep their spirits up.
It wasn't bad. I wanted to hear the whole song.
Sir Richard Carlyle.
Oh?
He tells me he proposed when he was staying here. Well, have you decided? Is that why he's written?
No, but I have made the decision.
Which is?
I think I should take him.
Really?
I wish I could believe in your motives.
Why? What were your motives when you married Mama?
What about Matthew?
Not you, too. What must he do to persuade you he's in love with Lavinia?
Write to him. Tell him of your plans with Carlyle. You owe him that.
I don't think I owe him anything.
You don't owe him anything. Yes. He's engaged.
And I'll try to contact Captain Crawley, explain to him what's happened. If he turns up here, I know you'll look after him.
Of course I will, ma'am.
You don't know when you'll be back? I don't think one knows anything in wartime. In the meantime, look after yourselves. Now, I mustn't miss my train.
Goodbye, Mrs. Crawley. Will she see some familiar faces out there? I mean, is she really going? Wow. She wasn't getting along with anyone at the house, though. At the big house. What now? The empty house.
What were you talking to Branson about?
Uh-huh.
Why were you there?
Because I was ordering the motor. That is why one talks to chauffeurs, isn't it?
He's a person. You can discuss other things.
I'm sure he can. But not with you.
What do you want from me? Am I to see if Sir Richard Carlyle has a younger brother? One who's even richer than he is?
Darling, what's the matter with you? I'm on your side.
Then be on my side.
Okay, she's just asking a question.
Please be glad for me, as I will always be for you. Your affectionate cousin.
Wow, look at that handwriting.
This is the army, Mason. We're going on a patrol because we're going on a patrol.
Has Mary set a date yet for the wedding?
She doesn't say.
She could have waited and told you when she saw you.
I don't think she knows I'm due back.
Just think, fresh Yorkshire air followed by London and Miss Swire.
But it's in a pub. I can't see that. I think your pal's mistake. Next thing you know, we'll have Anna running across the county and dragging him back by his stick.
I'm surprised he's not here of his own accord, with his lordship having no valet since the loony went.
Don't speak ill of Mr. Lang.
You're a funny one. Talk about sweet and sour.
He's like, you talk crap about everyone. She had a soft spot for him, though, because of her brother. I respect that.
Want a cup?
Not really.
Mosley and Mrs. Bird.
We've cleaned everything 3 times over.
A butler can't do much with supper on a tray.
Who's this?
Beg pardon for
troubling you, only the door was open.
But the front gate was not.
No.
What do you want?
Have you got any spare food?
Spare food? What's that when it's at home?
Hang on, wait. From round here?
Not far. I used to work on the farms, but not anymore.
You get that in the wall?
Don't pity me. I'm one of the lucky ones.
He's a veteran.
I might have something for you.
Come on.
Is this the start of something new for them? Uh-oh. It's the war music. The Germans. They're in a dangerous predicament here. Oh no. Oh shoot. Mosley. Is he gonna suggest something regarding that man and him looking for food?
I hope you don't mind my bothering you.
Not a bit. What can I do for you?
Well, actually, Mr. Carson, I've been thinking there might be something I can do for you. That brushing, for instance. I don't like having nothing to do. And what with Captain Crawley away at the war and his mother in France alongside him, his lordship's without a valet and your plate is piled so high. So I thought I'd look in and give you a hand. Brushing, mending, cleaning shoes, whatever's needed.
That's kind of you, Mr. Molesley. We shall have to watch ourselves, or else his lordship will want to pinch you off Captain Crawley.
Yes. Maybe.
But this is William. I think we should all be worried.
Anything might have happened. Maybe his leave was cancelled. At times like these, people vanish and turn up again in the strangest places.
Like Mr. Bates in that pub.
Did she know?
That's what he said. I thought they'd have told you.
That a trained valet like Mr. Bates would be content to work in a public house. Have you mentioned this to Anna?
I haven't said anything to anyone. I thought you all knew.
Didn't it occur to you that we might be interested to hear it?
Not particularly. As far as I knew, Mr. Bates had left your employment.
Easy, go to bed before you strain your eyes.
Daisy, you need to say something to Miss Patmore about all this.
Thank you, Daisy, for telling Mr. Carson all about my private letter.
I didn't know it was a secret. Sorry if I was wrong.
There's no if about it.
Thomas is so mean.
What's he after? To get Bates back?
Why would he want his job back? He's like you, he got away. You're both free of all the bowing and scraping and yes, my lord, and no, my lord. I envy him. I envy you. Because I'm ready for a new adventure and I don't care who hears me.
Well, you know what they say. Be careful what you wish for.
Is that a threat? No. Sybil.
But the truth is, I'll stay at Downton until you want to run away with me.
Keep thinking about what Branson said.
Is this about Mr. Bates, my lord?
Yes, it is.
The Red Lion in Kirby Moorside.
Oh, you've seen him then?
I have. Yes, my lord. He's hoping to settle certain matters first with Mrs. Bates.
And what is his second reason for avoiding us?
He says he parted with your lordship on bad terms.
It is for me to feel embarrassed.
He got pretty mad at him.
Mrs. Bird? What's going on?
I knew I'd be found out soon.
It's like a soup kitchen or something?
Found out doing what?
What does it look like?
Some kind of soup kitchen?
You better come inside.
Yeah, that's good. Might as well feed some of these wounded warriors.
Right, Daisy, stand there. Give them a bowl and a spoon.
That's awesome. I love this.
That fella turned up asking for food. Then he came back next day with a friend. And here we are. To be honest, Mrs. Patmore, I'm not sure I can manage much longer.
Well, how often do you do it?
Plan to get it down to once a week and give them only the cheapest cuts. But it is my money, and I don't know
hold
how
it
much...
right there. If we can't feed a few soldiers in our own village, them as have taken the bullet or worse for king and country, then I don't know what.
Huh. That's right, it's Patmore. That's the right attitude.
William, who was in service here.
I know William.
Well, he's missing. He wrote he was coming home for a few days with Captain Crawley.
Is William your beau?
I wouldn't say that, no, my lady.
Well, I'm sure it's nothing, but I'll see what I can find out.
Thank you.
She's worried about him. Daisy, do you actually like him and you don't realize it?
But the poor girl seemed quite certain.
Just when Isabel's away and none of us know where she is.
I suppose Matthew might have heard from Cousin Isabel and decided to meet up in France instead.
But that wouldn't explain why William isn't here.
Yes. They're in trouble with the Germans that they ran into. I mean, it's got to be that or something related to that.
I'm told Bates is working at a public house in Kirby Moorside. I want to investigate.
I can't decide which part of that speech is the most extraordinary.
Because I want to go myself.
Yeah, he wants to go see him.
So, Sybil, what are you up to, dear?
Nothing much. Working.
Only Mary and I were talking about you, the other day.
Oh?
As you see, sometimes in war one can make friendships that aren't quite...
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
I want you to be on your guard.
Appropriate for whom?
Well, don't jump down my throat, dear. I'm only offering friendly advice.
To give him his old job back?
Not entirely. I mainly want to see him because we parted badly.
Telephone call for you, my lord.
If you did, I'm sure it's his fault.
No, it was mine.
Yeah.
Oh, really? It's like living in a second-rate hotel where the guests keep arriving and no one seems to leave.
Yes. Thank you for letting me know.
Huh. What's that about?
Matthew and William went out on a patrol a few days ago and they haven't been seen since.
But they are treating them as missing in action.
It's too early for that. There could be lots of things to explain.
You mean they could have been taken prisoner?
It's possible. Don't say anything to Mary. Or your mother. Or anyone, in fact. Not yet. Shouldn't really have told you.
Yes. Why'd you tell her?
I don't know how to contact her. Anyway, she's in France. She may hear before we do.
Oh, wow. I'm sure they're okay. They're probably going through a pretty hard time right now, though.
I don't see why you can't dress him. Until there's a new valet, it'd be a blessing to Mr. Carson.
I'd be happy to if it'd help.
Keep this up and we won't be able to do without you at all.
I may be wrong, but I thought I saw one of the officers by the maid's staircase just now. I'm sure there's a perfectly reasonable explanation.
Let's hope so.
I wonder who that is. Mosley really likes what he does. He just needs to be useful. Okay, who's this? Is it like... It's that one with Ethel. Ethel. Naughty, naughty. Oh man, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be in this area, especially. Oh my god.
What the bloody...
Ethel!
We were only...
I know precisely what you were doing, Major. Now, if you will kindly take your things and go downstairs.
Ethel...
Ethel? You are dismissed. Please leave before breakfast.
I didn't think I would...
No, and that's the problem. You never do.
You can't be sleeping with this... people who are convalescing. I guess maybe that happened. I don't know. It's scandalous, though.
You'll enjoy working in a big household. Better than staring at me night after night.
They're friends, though, at least.
Be a big step up for me. There's no point in denying it.
Because I think they might. There goes Mr. Molesley, valet to the Earl of Grantham.
That's awesome. I love that. They're supporting each other.
What could you have possibly done that's so terrible?
You messed up, Ethel.
She's not a bad person, Mrs. Hughes. I know she can be strict, but she's not. She wouldn't listen.
She's strict, yeah. Because you crossed the line. You messed up. I mean, I feel bad for her, but she messed up. At least leave the house or something. I mean, you deserve love, but...
I know Ethel could be difficult, Mrs. Hughes, but she was very sorry for her mistake, whatever it was.
I'm sure it's cost her job.
I'm glad to hear it. But Carson said your wife made all sorts of threats.
The point is, I can divorce her now, whether she likes it or not.
But what's to stop her blurting out her stories to the press?
If she agrees to keep silent, I will give her whatever she wants.
I think you're underestimating Vera.
Daisy, You're not to worry about William. I spoke to his lordship earlier. He says you're not to be concerned until we know more.
But he is missing. I mean, they don't know where he is or Captain Crawley, do they?
There could be 100 explanations.
Don't mistake me, I hope very much they're not. But we ought to face the truth.
There's no point of sugarcoating it.
I hate the word missing. It seems to leave so little room for optimism. I tell myself it's too early to despair. Losing Patrick was bad enough, but now the thought of Matthew gone and the future once again destroyed. More than all that, I loved him like a son.
Did you? I mean, you grew fond of him. Wow. They're probably okay. They're probably going through a... Like, they're maybe captured or hiding somewhere.
It's not what I expected, my lord, but I will.
Go back. They need you there, Mr. Bates.
And I abused you when we parted. I should have had more faith. I'm sorry.
God knows you've shown more faith in me than I had any right to.
Yes, go back. So much better with Mr. Bates in the house. Okay, they're bringing food over. Mrs. Bird, man. Oh, O'Brien doesn't like it. They're feeding hungry veterans. Oh, let them do it.
She thinks you must have a beau, and if we don't know about him, then you have to be keeping him secret. It's just Granny being Granny. Don't make such a thing of it.
I don't deserve to be told off. Not by her or by you. Nothing's happened.
You do have a guy, though.
What might have happened?
I mean it. We haven't kissed or anything. I don't think we've shaken hands. I'm not even sure if I like him like that. He says I do, but I'm still not sure.
We are talking about...
Branson, yes.
The chauffeur, Branson. What has he said to you?
That he loves me and he wants me to run away with him.
Good God in heaven.
He's frightfully full of himself.
You don't say.
I haven't encouraged him.
Well, I won't betray him on one condition. You must promise not to do anything stupid.
Good God in heaven. Oh my gosh. Mr. Bates. You're back.
Mr. Bates, you're a sight for sore eyes.
Yes.
Thought it was you.
Hello?
Yay. You brought balance back into the house.
The nurses, of course, but they live down at the hospital.
Except for Lady Sybil.
Nurse Crawley, please.
He manages the house. He's a sergeant now.
I take orders from Major Clarkson. He runs this place on behalf of the Army Medical Corps.
Yet another reason to pray for peace.
Has the dressing gone wrong yet?
You're not late, Mr. Mosley, but...
Mr. Bates is back, and you reminded me I better ring it now.
Have you been standing in for me?
I was going to, starting tonight. Yeah.
Then you'll be relieved to see me.
Oh, tremendously.
Oh, Mr. Mosley was so looking forward to moving up.
Watch yourself, Mr. Bates. Thomas is in charge now, and it won't do to get on the wrong side of him.
Is there a right side?
I can't confirm the details of the arrangement. Maybe they both sell it and divide the proceeds.
Oh my gosh.
I'm curious. Next time, come and fetch me.
It's gonna backfire on you, O'Brien.
Branson, there's something you ought to know. I've told Mary.
Without a reference?
No, she's not like that. You don't know her. She wouldn't give us away.
But you won't encourage us. When they come around, I will welcome them with open arms.
And what about your people? Would they accept me?
Look, it comes down to whether or not you love me.
I will be generous if she will cooperate.
But you're ready to give her everything. Because I am.
I want a clean break and not an open wound. If we can just be patient a little while longer.
That's not gonna work with Vera. Vera's not gonna go quietly, and she's not gonna just agree.
You're stuck with me now, for good and proper.
It's not done. I don't know if Mr. Bates is overconfident or overly naive about this.
There's something you
whole
ought
process,
to know.
But
Papa said not to tell you, but I don't think he's right. Matthew's missing. He was on patrol and he's just sort of vanished. It didn't seem right to keep you in the dark.
what are you gonna do, Mary? You're upset? Well, understandably.
Do they all know downstairs?
William's missing too.
I mean, they can't keep these things secret forever.
Mind out, this is hot.
Spoons! Unless they're to drink directly from the bowl.
Do you think there's enough?
Oh, you're going to feed about 50, I reckon.
You got some more? Some more?
Yeah, there's plenty around. You're going to have to feed a bunch.
May we come in?
Your ladyship.
O'Brien seemed to think that you and Mrs. Bird were engaged in a commercial venture of some sort, so I came to see for myself.
We are not, your ladyship.
We feed these men once a week, and I'm not ashamed of it. I'll be back before luncheon at the big house.
I'm sure, but is it true they're fed from our kitchens?
Only the stuff the army gives. They are soldiers.
What did I tell you?
Daisy's right, we only use the food the army pay for.
In future, I would prefer it if you would use food paid for by the house. I don't want the army to accuse us of mismanagement.
Haha, that's right, O'Brien.
I'm gonna help them, and so are you. Mostly.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Then we can form 2 lines and it will go fast.
I knew Lady Grantham would love it.
Daisy.
Of course, my lady.
Beef stew,
Stand all right.
There you are.
Taste it.
That's great. I knew she would not disapprove. O'Brien. That's right. Shut up, O'Brien.
But I think we should start to prepare.
Isabel doesn't know.
I haven't been able to reach her.
Have you said anything to Mary?
Edith's already told me.
It's time for the concert.
Who cares about the stupid concert?
The men do, and we should too, because we have to keep going whatever happens. We have to help each other to keep going.
I'm sure they're okay, but man, I mean, this is war. In war, a lot of sacrifices are made, and everyone's feeling it, no matter what part of society you are from, whether you're upstairs, downstairs, or wherever.
Cora tells me Matthew has gone missing. Is that true?
Oh, he does magic. He's an illusionist. Edith plays well.
Most of you won't know how rare it is to see my sister, Edith, and I pulling together in a double act.
A unicorn, if ever there was one.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Crawley sisters.
Well, now I've seen everything.
Sometimes when I feel bad, and I'd say one like you, if you were the only girl.
They're all singing. That's great. Granny's like, what the heck's going on? There's Matthew. There's Matthew and William. They're back. Go give them a hug.
Thank God.
My dear boy.
Daisy, he's back. Daisy, how do you feel about him?
I would say such wonderful things to you.
It's a musical.
Such wonderful things to do.
Oh, that's great. Oh, yeah, who are they singing about? They look good. They must have snuck away and were not able to report back.
And then we were trapped behind some Germans for 3 days. And when we got out of that, we stumbled into a field dressing station where we were immediately admitted.
They were worried.
What will you do with the rest of your leave?
Well, since Mother isn't here, I think I'll run up to London and see Lavinia.
I know you don't like him much now.
I hardly know him, but I'm sure I'll like him when I do. That's if he's good to you. If he's not, he'll have me to answer to.
They don't belong with them. They belong with each other.
But now we must get used to feeling happy and trust it.
God, I want to.
Something tells me Vera's not gonna let that happen.
Did you have me boxed up and buried?
I'm glad you're all right, honest.
Well, you should be. It's the thought of you that keeps me going.
Daisy, are you changing your mind about William? I wonder. Uh-oh. What's going on? Has someone arrived?
Hello?
It's not gonna be good. Ethel.
I'm sorry to push him, but I was sitting alone until I couldn't stand it no more. You've got to help me.
But what do you mean, help with what?
She's pregnant.
Is this about Major Bryant? How long had it been going on?
Long enough to get me pregnant. Mrs. Hughes, I'm going to have a baby.
Oh, God. No, my God. I should have seen that one coming. Ethel. Alright, wow, what an episode. So much is happening. Wow. Okay, that was episode 4 of season 2 of Downton Abbey. Wow, Time moves so quickly in this series. How long has it been since Mrs. Hughes dismissed Ethel, and how far is she along? I should have seen that one coming when they got caught, consequences and all that stuff. Yeah, wow. Of course, this is a different time. I don't know what she can do about it except be pregnant and have the baby. I wonder what's going to happen between her and the officer, I forgot his name, that she was with. I don't think he's going to be very good to her. Something tells me. I'm glad that Mr. Bates is back. I said this before, but I think Mr. Bates is being either overly confident or just overly naive about Vera. She does not seem like the type to let things go easily or to settle or just to agree. She's gonna cause trouble, she's gonna cause drama, she's gonna throw a wrench into everything. She's not gonna go away quietly at all. She's gonna be a major problem, I think. There's that. And I'm glad that Matthew and William are okay. I suspected they were okay. It was just, they're kind of just lost out there and they would be back. So wow, wow, wow. I cannot wait to see the rest of this season. I mean, it's only 4 episodes in and so much is going on. It's kind of crazy, to be honest with you. And it's hard to keep up, but I'm loving it. I think this season is definitely different. A lot happening very quickly. If you've been here with me on this journey, thank you so much for your support. If you like this sort of content, please give me a like or subscribe. It would really help me out. Or you can watch the full-length watch-along version on my Patreon, which is in the description. And with that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.